about life I've come to learn is this. Life is full of experiences. Good experiences, bad experiences, traumatic experiences, jubilant experiences, and so on and so forth. But the point of life is to experience experiences and then experience the next experience. But we can't experience the next experience because we're still experiencing the experience that we once experienced. Understand? So we have to develop the strength of allowing the traumatic experience to be just that, an experience. And don't allow that mountain to block the beauty of other experiences that we have before us now. Easier said than done, but it can be done. I'm living proof of it. I'm living proof of it. But again, there's plenty of different avenues. Find the one that best works for you. Knowledge of self helped me. I'm not talking about knowledge of culture. You can check out the last video, what it means to have a knowledge of self. Knowledge of myself. Knowing who I truly am is what helped me. And I really hope it can help you as well. But it's going to take work. It's not one of those things that just evaporates from you. It's those things that really takes work, and it really takes focus, intent to be successful at. You're going to have to sometimes, most of the time, for me, it was definite. I had to separate myself from social media for a long time. Or I had periods of times that I would just unplug from it. Because social media is becoming like a cesspool of depression and depressed talk and victimized experiences as if those have to be your reality. But it doesn't have to be your reality. Know that you always have a choice. You always have a choice. You always have a choice. You can decide for yourself right now that you want to change right now. And then the process of changing will begin right now. But we can't become comfortable being victims. We can't become comfortable being depressed. There's a whole other you that's waiting for your perception to define it. And how I'm going to close this video is the challenge for you. We all know, and this is what this is here, excuse me. We all know our depressed self. We know how that one operates. If you was anything like me, you carried the burden for plenty of years. Right? So we know that depressed self. Here's the challenge for you, and this challenge is also the basis of self-creation. You know your depressed self. You know how that one looks, operates, moves, and so on and so forth. This is how you break that cycle. Create a non-depressed self. Write it down. What does your non-depressed self look like? What does your non-depressed self do? What does your non-depressed self act like? What is your non-depressed self's hobbies? What is your non-depressed self's favorite food? So on and so forth. Write that down. Once you write that down, begin to apply that non-depressed self to the self that you are now. You write down your non-depressed self, and then you become that non-depressed self. See? Because now, what you're doing basically now is throwing away that one bag. And it's not that you're getting another bag, you're sewing another bag. That's the process of changing your mindset. They say it takes about 21 days to make or break a habit. Well, let's start making new habits. Let's start giving ourselves new affirmations. I'm free, I'm loved, I'm happy, I'm joyous. God is my best friend. God is with me right here. My ancestors surround me. Tell a new story about yourself. Tell a new story about yourself every day. Every day. Wake up in the morning. Dance. Sing. You can only sound good to yourself. You might only have rhythm to yourself. It's all good. But do that. Because you can't dance and be depressed at the same time. I've tried. Dancing always wins. You know what I'm saying? You can't like, oh man, find your favorite music and just boogie to it every morning. I'm telling you. Let go of some of that serotonin in that brain so you feel good about yourself. I'm telling you. It's these small things that will change, you know, the way that you see yourself. And what this also does is this. It gives you new memories. It gives you new memories to look back on. Because when you're depressed, all you're doing is going back to that memory. You're going back to that depressed memory, going back to that depressed memory. Now you're going back to that memory when you was dancing and remembering how that made you feel. Now you're going back to that memory when you went to the museum and you learned something new and it enlightened you a little bit more. Now you're going back to that memory when you went out to the park and you looked out into the river and you just felt the sun smile upon your face. Now you're going back to the memory when you was playing with your son and daughter, he said or she said something so hilarious and you laughed from a good, healthy place down here. Now you're creating new memories for yourself, so now you're creating a new memory bank. You're creating a new memory bank that you can go back and deposit and to relive. And that's how you create your new self. Do it. What do you got to lose? And if I'm wrong, no harm, no foul. Continue to live the way that you live it if that's what you choose. But what do you got to lose other than depression? If you really want to lose it, if you really want to heal it, that's a better way. Try something that you never tried before. And for the artists, create from the new bag that you're creating. I'm Moa Olumari. Peace and much love. I'll holler at y'all next time.